Is the iPhone 17's camera the ultimate tool for creators, or is it just launched a hype? And more importantly, what do you actually do with all of the footage once you've shot it? Sometimes your shot looks almost perfect, but still needs a little bit of stabilization. If you've ran into this too, we'll fix it in the second part of this video. Today we're putting this camera through real-world tests and then taking the exact same shots into Movavi Video Editor to turn them into a finished video you would actually want to upload. I'm Julian, and I've spent the last week pushing the camera in everyday creator scenarios. In this video, I'll show you exactly what I found, and then we'll build a full video from scratch in Movavi step by step. The goal here isn't just to review a phone, it's to give you a full workflow you can start using today. We're testing 4 key areas, which is everyday vlogging, portrait shots, tough low light scenarios, and a fun one, which I enjoy a lot, which is slow motion action. This way you'll see exactly how the iPhone 17 performs in the situations you actually shoot and not just control tests. First up is handheld video. No gimbal, no rig, just walking with the phone. Watch how smooth this stays. The iPhone 17 stabilization kicks in automatically and wipes out all of these tiny shakes that normally screen phone footage. This is the kind of clip you actually want to keep and not just delete. The front camera got a serious glow up too, and for solo creators this matters way more than anything on a spec sheet. The wider angle makes it easy to fit both you and your background into the frame without, locking your elbow and stretching your arm out as far as it goes. You can walk naturally and still show a little bit of your world. But now let's talk about portraits. This is where a lot of phone cameras fall apart and start to look very fake. We're not testing in a studio, just real light and a real moment, making a portrait the way you actually would. The question is, can the phone capture that feeling and not just cut out the shape of a face? The portrait results are very strong. The background blur feels creamy instead of cutout, and the edge detection holds up even around tricky areas like hair and shoulders. You can even adjust depth of field after the shot, which makes it easy to control how dramatic you want the blur to be. And most importantly, skin tones look natural. There's no plastic gloss, no weird color shifts. This is absolutely huge if you care about your personal brand or need a consistent look across different lighting setups. Now let's go to the tough one, low light. The new sensor does a solid job of brightening up dark scenes so you actually see what's happening instead of just a noisy mess. But if you zoom into the shadows, you can still notice some grain. That's totally normal. Lifting exposure adds noise, especially in video. But finally, let's talk about slow motion and action. At 240 frames per second, little moments become incredibly satisfying to watch because higher FPS gives you more frames to spread out in post, so fast motion stays smooth and detailed when you slow it down. The flip side is you're capturing less light per frame, so 240 FPS usually looks best in very bright scenes and environments. A jump, a spin, suddenly you're seeing the texture of movements, the arc of droplets, the way fabric ripples, hair moving through the air, whatever it is. If you shoot B-roll for intros or transition, this mode gives you plenty to play with. All right, so we've got 4 different clips. We've got a handheld shot, a portrait, a night scene, and some slow motion. Now let's jump into Movavi Video Editor and let's see what we can do with them. Quick note before we dive in, if you want to follow along with the exact tools that I'm using, you can use the promo code VLOG20 to get 20% off a yearly subscription to Movavi Video Editor. Link is in the description. All right, let's edit. First things first, let's get these clips into the timeline and clean them up, drag them in and trim the messy bits. Shaky starts, dead air, awkward endings. I want to cut all of these away. A few cuts and every clip already feels a lot tighter. Next up, I'll tackle the low light clip, and instead of pretending that the noise isn't there, I'm just gonna work with it. I gently adjust exposure and contrast, then tweak the color so the scene feels intentional rather than muddy. With just a few sliders, the image looks cleaner and more cinematic without crushing the shadows or blowing out highlights. For the portrait clip, I use Movavi's color tools to give it that extra wow effect. A touch more vibrancy, a bit more warmth, and suddenly it's not just a decent phone footage, it looks polished enough to feature in a promo video or in a thumbnail frame. You don't need to be a color grading expert, you're just nudging the footage toward what already feels right. On these handheld clips, I add slow, subtle zoom in to create energy, then reverse that move on another shot to pull back and reveal more of the scene. Keyframing the scale like this is simple, but it instantly makes the footage feel more intentional and less like a static talking head. To tie everyone together, I keep the transition simple. Most of the time, a clean crossfade is all you need to smooth the cut and keep the focus on the story and not on flashy wipes or spins. For this kind of edit, clean and simple almost always wins. If one of the slow motion clips feels a little bit wobbly, I'll run stabilization on it so the movement looks stylized rather than accidental. It's a small tweak, but it makes the slow-mo feel like a creative choice instead of shaky hands. For social content, captions are absolutely non-negotiable. With auto subtitles, Movavi can generate a full caption track in one go, and I just skim through to correct any misheard words. Now the video is far more watchable on mute, which is how a lot of people will encounter it on a mobile device. Before exporting, I add a light LUT or make a few global tweaks so all the clips share a consistent look, consistent contrast, a similar color mood, natural skin tones, and overall rich blacks. Now the whole thing feels like one cohesive story instead of a random bundle of shots. Here's the mindset shift that really matters. Stop thinking, I need better gear, and start thinking, I need better editing. Your phone already captures moments that are worth sharing. Editing is what turns those moments into something people will actually remember. So what's the verdict on the camera itself? Stabilization that's genuinely usable for handheld vlogging, portraits with human-looking skin tones and flexible depth of field, low light that's bright enough to work with if you're willing to tweak it afterwards, and slow motion that turns everyday movements into visual candy. And what about the workflow? Going from iPhone to Movavi is a beginner-friendly pipeline that still has room to grow with you. The controls are intuitive and built for creators so you can quickly organize clips, fix colors, smooth motion, clean up audio, and add captions and thumbnails while quietly building skills for more complex projects later on. And now it's your turn. Take any clip you've already got on your phone, bring it into Movavi, and run through the same steps. Organize them and trim them, refine exposure and color, add a little bit of movement, keep the transitions clean, stabilize your slow motion shots, add captions, and export. Then share your results and tell me what part of the process surprised you the most. If you want to follow along with the exact tools that you've just seen, you can use the promo code VLOG20 to get 20% off a yearly subscription to Movavi Video Editor. That promo code VLOG20 is still active if you missed it earlier. Link and details are in the description down below. For now, this workflow runs perfectly in Movavi Video Editor, but before you go, think about this. What's actually holding you back from your content creation right now? Is it time? Is it tools? Is it confidence? Drop just one word in the comments, and now grab your phone and shoot something that actually makes you feel something, and let your edit make other people feel it too. I'll see you in the next one.